Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. This is episode 2, playing as the nation of Germany in FUHRERREICH. And it looks like the Kingdom of Denmark has declared war on the Hamburg Commune. So this is kind of interesting. I guess there's this separate nation that has grown up on the northern side of Germany. Entente announces sanctions against our nation. The cowardly French have pressured a horde of nations to sanction our country in an attempt to damage our arms industry. The Entente and their allies will no longer sell arms and weapon manufacturing equipment to our nation, despite French hopes that, though, this will only be a small roadblock in the way toward our goal of a German-dominated Europe. So, production costs go up for tanks and artillery and military factories for 2 years. Well, that kind of sucks, but such is life. So world tension's up to 10%. So we've got the civil war going on up here in Denmark right now. I guess I don't control that part of the world. I thought I had, but I don't know if they just broke away or if I just didn't pay attention before that I didn't have that. But right now we're working on direction of the economy, at which point I have the choice between keeping Hitler and choosing Strasser. There's a civil war breaking out in Brazil. I think I'm going to choose Strasser on that one because there's a lot more options available to me when I do that. There's very few options under Keep Hitler. So we're going to do that. Just a lot of options all around available in all of this. This is a three-way civil war going on over here in Brazil. Long, Huey Long, the governor of Louisiana and a populist thorn on the side of American politics, has officially been declared the inaugural president of the United States of America. I don't know why it says it that way, but he's a Democrat. First one it says that they've had in 3 generations. There's direction of the economy. We're going to go with Strasser. Strasser's the better choice. Does that mean I don't have to choose Strasser? Oh, I get to bypass that now. Okay, cool. Alright, so now I've got 3 new choices available to me. And it's not just about choosing one of these 3, it's also about looking ahead to what it gives me afterwards. There's a base stability there. My stability is not bad, though. It's a 65%. Right here, this gives me a national spirit, which gives a boost to construction speed. And we get a bunch of new factories here, so I think this is probably the way to go. Wow. 10 infrastructure in 4 different places. That's really cool. Okay, we're going to go Chamber of Industry. Anyway, I was starting to look. It looks like the U.S. has Baja California, which is interesting. Yeah, there's a major 3-way civil war going on in Brazil right now. Of course, we still got monarchist Spain and Spanish Popular Front going at it there. But things are staying pretty quiet for me at the moment. I don't know if this is a war I can get involved in. I could send volunteers, I guess. Wow, I can send 16 divisions to help the Kingdom of Denmark. I don't want to see communism spread, so I think that's something I'll go ahead and do after I deal with my research slots. Let's take a look over here for a second. Yeah, I think we're a little ahead of time on that. Get field hospitals going. All right, let's take a look at my army for a second here. I've got a 15 division army right here, so that'd actually be perfect. I think we're gonna go ahead and send these guys in. Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. I'm an idiot. I wondered why I was allowed to send so many divisions. That didn't make any sense to me. I can send 2 divisions. So we've got to form an army with 2 divisions and send them over. Not sure how much of a difference they'll make, but we're going to send a couple of panzer divisions. Give them a commander. And let's send them on our way. Alright. That raises the world tension ever so slightly. But that's about it for now. Alright, my 2 divisions have arrived. We've got a couple of national focuses that have just been bypassed. So that's kind of awesome. It not only unlocked this one, but unlocked these next two for me as well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with... I think we'll start with the new military factories. That'll give me 6 military factories, then we'll go from there. This war is not going well for the side that I've chosen to jump in on. They've lost 6,000 men to 11,000 for the communists. But more importantly than that, it's going about 35% in favor of the communists right now. So I'm not sure that my 2 divisions are making any sort of a perceivable difference. We're going to go ahead and control them, though, and send them forward and see what trouble they might get into in this thing. Start fighting back. If we put a little pressure on them here, maybe that turns the tide. They've only got 1 division, the Danish, up here, though. So it's really not going to do the job. And they're parking the rest of their army on Copenhagen, hoping that that'll do something, and it doesn't appear to be doing anything. All right, we got our new military factories. Boy, this thing just flies because these national focuses are only taking about a month, and because the game sims so incredibly fast on this mod, things are happening really quickly. So I've got free military factories, so I can start kind of getting them into some new things here, continuing to produce my tanks. But now we've got to update my trade, and I guess we'll try to go with somebody who's on the ground. We don't have to cross water to trade with. All right. It's kind of hard to see the borders here just because both are the same color. But I'm trying to help him push back a little bit. You can see here that the war's going a little bit better. Now it's only... Oh, wow. What happened? Alright, so now it's almost back to 50-50. You can see the field and manpower is basically the same on both sides, but the casualties are overwhelmingly in favor of the Kingdom of Denmark right now. So maybe my division did make a difference. I don't know. We've got some points here. We can modify the government. Let's take a look at that for just a second. I don't know that I want to change my trade policy. I do have 1 million in my manpower, so that's good. I don't need to do anything with conscription right now. Let's go with Erwin Rommel in my military staff, because that's going to give some bonuses to my armored divisions, which is the primary focus of how I'm building my army. And it has an immediate boost on these particular 2 divisions that are fighting right now. So it looks like that's going pretty well. I'm really surprised with as few divisions as there are involved in this and the huge number of losses. The Hamburg commune is just replacing their men as fast as they're losing them. They've lost almost 50,000 men, but their fielded manpower is staying pretty steady. No longer have the effects of the Great Purge. Alright, so I've pushed in over here. I'm going to start driving south. Alright, after years of design and construction, the first Hindenburg-class airship has been completed and is ready for flight. Named after one of the goats who pulled Odin's chariot in Norse mythology, the Tangrisnir is Germany's most advanced and impressive airship built to date. The vessel is prepared to commence long-distance passenger flights within the following months, but other uses have been suggested. So, we should spy on the Soviets. We should spy on the British. No, we should show the superiority of Valkist engineering on the world stage. Let's just not have a Hindenburg-type air crash. That would not be good. So, we completed new civilian factories. So I've gotten 6 new military factories, 6 new civilian factories, a bunch more building slots, and now we're working on the Reichsautobahn, which is going to give me a huge boost to infrastructure in some various areas. I'm just looking ahead to diplomatic policy possibilities, because there are so many. As I know I've said this like crazy already, but there are so many options in the national focus tree that they're just endless directions you can go with things, and I absolutely love this, and I'm not even kind of touching the surface of looking at all of this yet, but you can see just in the diplomatic viewpoint alone, So once I complete the Reichsautobahn, I think I'm going to go over here and get this research time boost. So I'll go down this tree here, and then we'll probably start looking at pan-Germanism policy and decide which way I want to go. And I'm kind of leaning toward claims in Central Europe, but I'm not entirely sure yet if that's the way I'm going to go. So I'll think about that a little bit. I've got claims in the East that I could go after the Soviet Union, the Romanians, the Polish, go after the Baltic. But I kind of feel like right here, claims in Central Europe may be where I go first. All right, it's the end of March, and we've completed the Reichsautobahn. It's time to go ahead and look at this side here, Volksgemeinschaft. Volksgemeinschaft. Okay. So we're going to do that. Gains of base stability right off the bat. We've got some new divisions to get into the field. And I'm just trying to figure out how best to help bring this war to a close. And I can't find an easy way to do that right now. So we'll press on. I've got a lot of factories working right now, producing more civilian factories. And then I think we'll shift over to military factories. So I'll start queuing some of those up as well. Let's look at infrastructure right now, just because I got that boost to 10 in the center of my country right there. So I think we can probably get everything else up to at least 7 and then go from there. All right, some big news across the channel. As civil unrest engulfed the British Isles following a disastrous several weeks of political turmoil, many believe the empire on which the sun never set would soon find itself dissolved and confined to the dustbin of history. Unexpectedly, reports have emerged that King Edward VIII has seized power with military assistance in an attempt to bring order to the country and destroy revolutionary elements determined to eradicate the old order. So, let's take a look at Britain for just a second here. It is now an imperial protection alliance, is what they're part of. It's the British Empire. They're paternal autocrats, so dang, that's pretty crazy. The world is changing a lot here and there. And let's take a look here. I think we'll go with an upgrade to artillery. The Spanish Civil War is over. Third Spanish Republic is born. The Portuguese Civil War goes on. And speaking of Portuguese, down here in Brazil, it looks like the Union of Brazil is winning. One of the 3 countries involved in that civil war has been taken out. We're now down to just 2. Let's look at the U.S. here. Looks like at the moment they're staying at least a democracy. All right. Okay, so a lot happening here. Completed the next national focus, which is maternity services. Is going to give me a boost to my population growing every month. The new Zeppelin has taken off. It gives us 50 political power. The war's going pretty well here now. His field of manpower is starting to go down a little bit. He's lost 88,000 men to only 10,000 for the Kingdom of Denmark, who has finally taken back some of their territory, and we're marching down on Hamburg now. In the meantime, we've got public education right here. It's going to give me a 5% improvement on research time, which is huge. Now we're going to look over here at some options. Perfect. All right, so we're just building up the military a little bit. Going to keep the mobile warfare doctrine tree going. Our ideology has grown. Excellent. Oh boy, we got a couple of things happening here. Sure, we'll take that. All right, let's take a look. Riots have broken out all across our fallen brother Austria. This would be an opportune moment to intervene in United Nations, as they were always meant to be. Awesome. All right, we're going to occupy Austria. Little Anschluss type situation here. So let's see what happens when we do that. Can I just go ahead and move my troops? Is that how this is going to work? Kingdom of Portugal has occupied the Portuguese Republic. So what do we do? Just no, we're not going to move in. Oh, that's not Austria. That's Czechoslovakia. Here's Austria right here. I don't know if I'm waiting for an event to trigger with that or what, but it looks like right now there's no ability to do that. There we go. Austria has successfully been secured. People all around the country now hail Dressler as their Führer and sing praises to the fatherland. We are one step closer to uniting the German people. All right. Austria is ours. Just like that. Very cool. All right. There's public education. That's a 5% boost to my research ability. Looks like there's a couple of minor things we can do here, but I think it's a great time to start focusing on, we can't. We need 500,000 manpower in our divisions. Where are we right now? 434. So real quick, let's see what's in the field. We can get those 3. I also started queuing up some infantry divisions as well as some close air support now that I've got those extra factories from the Anschluss of Austria, even though we're not calling it that. Let's see where we're at now. What's that get me to in field and manpower? 450. So we're not quite there yet. We aren't able to do that. So that brings me back over here. A lot of options available still. How about over here, German Spirit? Experimental research. Awesome. Let's do that. Gonna assign these new panzer divisions. Alright, so I've got some one army on the French border. I've got one on the border with Hungary now, and then the last one's on the border with Poland, just because I need to have them somewhere. Alright, experimental research is complete. Now we have a decision to make. Germany is home to the greatest minds of the modern era. Our state has given these men and women the resources necessary to fulfill their endeavors. With rearmament, though, we must be cautious where we spend our Reichsmarks. 2 great minds have petitioned our government for monetary support, so let's take a look and see what they are. Zeus's electromechanical calculating machines will break enemy intelligence, so that gives me a boost to computing tech research. Deibner's research in atomic fission, yes. I see the word atomic and I say yes, thank you. All right. So now we have, I think we're going to bypass one of these here with that decision. Yes, no? Yeah. Is this the atomic one? Yep. Bypass. And now we move on. Where are we on? Yes, I think this should get us to the magic number. 495. Are you kidding me? Oh, we're so close. We need 500,000 in order to be able to... Oh, you know what? I have an idea. Let's look at our divisions. And it looks like this one's combat with... we're going to make some changes to this, but for the time being, we're going to add an artillery. And that should do the trick. No? It puts me at 497. Are you kidding? Oh, now we're over 500. Perfect. Okay. Pan-Germanism. Oh, wait a second. Come on. I've got 500,000 manpower and divisions in the field. What are you talking about, people? Oh, in the field 465. In training 47,000. Okay. So it's not until I get the next ones in the field that that's going to change those things. So let's take a look over here for a second. German antitrust laws. That's going to give me some political power, some base stability. It's going to hurt my production efficiency cap, but that's okay. National Focus bypassed a workers' collective. Okay. So not entirely sure why that got bypassed, but we'll take it. So that brings me all the way down here to this one, which is autonomous workers collectives versus state-owned collectives. But before we do that, let's see if, yes, perfect. 6 more divisions in the field means this should now be an option. Awesome. All right, so the army's growing rapidly because I'm pumping out divisions like crazy. And so right now we're up to, let's see, just 62 divisions, but I could probably produce more than that if I wanted to, but I'm starting to get a little bit of a hole as far as equipment goes. So I got to be careful not to get too far ahead of myself. There's pan-Germanism policy. Things happen fast on this game, for sure. So now, a big decision to make. German claims in the west, which means I'd be going after the Entente. Not sure I want to do that just yet. British strategy, whereas I can cooperate with the British, and that seems like maybe that's a good idea right now, just given the power they seem to be going for. But I think for now, we're going to go claims in Central Europe. So we're going to add a bunch of cores and a bunch of claims on various nations. The Austrian Republic doesn't even exist anymore, so that's not really a concern. This is only going to take 14 days. I want to look real quick at Central Europe and see what friends they may have. Okay, Bohemia has got nobody. Is that Bohemia? Yep. Switzerland, probably not somebody I want to go after, but they don't have anybody right now either. And then, of course, we've got Hungary, so I guess kind of that's the direction I may go with my growth. All right, it looks like another national focus was bypassed, the Valkas coup in Austria, which, of course, was not needed because Austria is part of my country now. But we've gone ahead and completed claims in Central Europe. Now let's take a look here. Zapadoslavia, which would be basically Czechoslovakia, that region there. We can destabilize that, or we can demand the Burgenland from Hungary. I think we may do that first. Oh, wait. This action may spark French intervention. Okay, let's not do that just yet. Don't think my army's quite up to where I want it to be to go at it toe-to-toe with the French right now. In fact, you can see that they say, okay, we're not strong enough for that yet. So what I think I need to do first of all, I think, is probably get 2 armies on the French border. So we'll put this one right there. And then I'll keep the one that's on the border with Hungary there for now, but I'll start forming another army, which will be the one that'll go on the other part of the French border. So let's start forming them up. And they're going to go right here. Obviously, they're not big enough yet, but we'll add some divisions to that as they get into the field. So production-wise, of course, now I'm behind on what I need, except for support equipment. I am, however, gaining some army experience, which I can use now to further get I want to get my combat width to 21, so that means I'm going to remove another division there and then add an additional artillery. Oh, I got to still remove one more. I don't have the ability to do that quite yet. So we're at 22. We'll remove one more infantry brigade. That'll get me down to exactly 20, which is where I want to be for that. All right, there's destabilized Zapadoslavia. So we've got another option available to us here. And I think we're going to go Hungarian support for the Zapadoslavia issue. Oh, we can't. Okay, so how about Polish support? We can do that. Meanwhile, my army is making its way toward Hamburg. Hopefully we can finally end this war, which is finally going in favor of the Kingdom of Denmark. Even with 10-to-1 casualties, it took a while to get an advantage there. But we push here, we take Hamburg, that'll be the end of that war. Poland has refused our invitation. The foolish Poles have refused our support to support our cause. Our generous offer was apparently not enough for the bureaucrats in Warsaw. Despite this change in plans, we continue with our goal to dismantle Zapadoslavia. Alright, so we've got to make another choice now. Demand Silesia and the Sudetenland. So that's a pretty historical kind of direction to go. We need 600,000 men in the field for that, and right now, even with the ones that are in training, I'm not quite there yet. So we've got to look at something else. How about diplomacy in Scandinavia? It's only going to take 14 days for that, and it's pretty timely because I'm about to take Hamburg for the Danish. I haven't been showing everything I've been doing as far as research goes, but there's a lot happening in the research. I'm working on the next level of tanks, which would be medium tanks, Panzer IIIs. I'll just kind of show what I've researched so far. I'm going to do this next as well. Get to the next level of weapons and equipment. There's where artillery is. Land doctrine, we're on Blitzkrieg. On air power, we are up on the fighter side. Air doctrine, we're down here. Engineering, I'm currently working on computing machine, which is going to give me another boost to research time. And then at some point we'll start working on atomic research, but we're still 2 years ahead on that. And then we could probably go ahead and do concentrated industry 3 before too long. We're still about a year ahead on that. All right, diplomacy in Scandinavia is complete. The London Economic Conference. In London today, a conference was called between the United Kingdom, United States, France, Japan, and Italy. This conference was called to ensure economic clarity and form an agreement between these great powers in how to best deal with the international recovery from the London market collapse. Well, we don't want them to get back on their feet economically, that's for sure. All right, so here in Scandinavia, we've got the Holstein situation, which I can't do yet because I'm not quite there in manpower, though I could field that manpower pretty quickly. So Denmark, maybe if I don't help them finish that war, that helps there. But I think we'll go Swedish ministers, because that may give me some bonus. Nah, you know what? Let's go this way. Well, we first got to get some more units into the field. That'll give me what I need to be able to do that. No? Come on. Oh. I've got to bring peace to that situation first. So that won't happen. That'll happen actually pretty quickly. In fact, there it is. That's probably going to end that war. There it is. So I could have just waited a day and done that, but we'll do that next. Not a huge deal. Guess I get my divisions back now. Getting some more divisions over here on the border with France to start building that up. Looks like I still need some oil from the U.S. All right, Sweden has accepted our advisors. So toast to our new Swedish friends. Now we can focus on the Holstein situation. Oh, this action may also spark French intervention. So no matter what I do, it seems that the French are eager to get involved. Now, I want to look at France for a second, because if they get involved, does that pull other people in too? I would think it does, because they're part of the Continental Entente, which includes Italy, the Confederation of the Rhine, a bunch of other French groups. So, war with Italy, or war with France and Italy might be too much for me right now, but as I improve my economic situation more and more, I feel like I could take them both on if I need to. So in the meantime, let's take a look at some other options. So there's some things I can do over here that are going to build up my military. That might be the way to go. I don't think I want to do claims in the West. I might try to get the British on my side, though. Maybe we try to do that right now. Because if I get the British on my side, then taking on France and Italy doesn't seem so big a deal. And now we're able to finish with the Colombia declared war on Peru. Now we've got enough military. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's what we want. Okay, perfect. Now we're at combat with 20 on my infantry divisions, which I guess I can start queuing up more infantry and panzer divisions. All right, I feel like we're getting the strength we need to be able to move forward. I'm currently at 44 military factories, 7 naval dockyards, 66 civilian factories in use. And you can kind of see where all of this is. Looks like I can slow down on my military equipment building in favor of some other things like tanks. Gonna need some more oil from the United States. And pretty soon I'll probably have to start building some convoys if I lose any. Military staff, we're gonna add, let's see, Armored Spearhead Doctrine. Perfect, Erich von Manstein. Von Manstein. Manstein. However you want to pronounce it. I'll keep on researching the air doctrine tree. All right, I think we're doing pretty well here. We'll probably won't go too much longer with this episode, but we'll let things play out a little longer here in 1938. All right, there's German claims in the west. Now it's time to see if we can't pursue cooperation with the British. We do that, and then let's take a look at what comes next. Cooperate with the British will be right there, and we can negotiate the Bremen Accord, eventually get down to an alliance with Britain, which would be absolutely ideal to have. All right, we're moving along quickly here. British strategy is complete. Now we go cooperate with the British. I also got 8 more divisions in the field, which I'm now up to, let's take a look here, 40, 60, 82 divisions total. I guess that says that right there. So we're getting the divisions on the fronts that I want to have them on right now, east and west. And we're continuing to do 8 at a time. I think that'll be good for now. All right, it's May 1938. I've upgraded my artillery so we can start producing the new artillery. And we should be just about ready to cooperate with the British. Of course, the sim speed's starting to finally slow down now as more and more divisions get into the field and more is happening around the world. Let's kind of take a look at the world situation as it currently exists here. Only one war currently going on. That's the war between Colombia and Peru, which seems to have no real advantage on either side right now. Everything else is pretty quiet. Cooperate with the British complete. Let's go back down to that part of the tree here. We're going to negotiate the Bremen Accord, which is going to give us a naval treaty. After that, we've got Anglo-German military exercise, heavy industry trade agreement, and then alliance. I think we'll go to the alliance with Britain, and that's where we'll wrap up this episode today. All right, so modifying the Bremen Accords, which the UK has accepted, is going to give me some boost to dockyard construction speed and output. We now do Anglo-German military exercise, which I'm not entirely sure what that will give me. It'd be nice if it gave me some army experience, though, because I'd like to do some further changes to my divisions. Right now, I'm working on infrastructure, trying to get all of my infrastructure up as high as I can. Hopefully get it all up to at least 8 and then eventually up to 10 everywhere. And then we'll start working on military factories again, which I've got quite a few right now. But I've got a lot of places I can build military factories still. Right now I'm at 120 factories total. So I feel like that's pretty good, but I guess I won't really know until I get into a war situation. I don't think I can see what France has. All right. British have accepted our proposal. One step closer. Heavy trade industry trade agreement is next. And then we'll be ready to ask for an alliance. I don't know if they'll accept that or not, but it'd be sure would be great if they did. Anglo-German military exercise. There we go. It did give me 25 army experience. That's what I was hoping for. Let's edit our panzer divisions. Those are right now at combat width of 12. I want to get field hospitals in all of my divisions, so I think I'm actually going to use my army experience for that first. And at some point, we'll start doing some exercises to build up the experience. In fact, why don't we go ahead and do that now? Because I don't anticipate any wars anytime soon. Hopefully. That'll use some equipment, but it's also going to build me some experience and give experience to my units, so when I do go to war, they'll be in a little better situation. Oh man, unfortunate. The Britain refuses our trade deal, so that didn't go the way I hoped it would. So let's do this. We've got some political power. Before we go asking for an alliance that they may not accept, let's try improving relations, because they're not great right now. So we're getting hurt by the controversial death of Herbert von Boos. I don't know how long that's going to last, but let's improve our relations a little bit before we go asking for that alliance with Britain, because I feel like we can't even ask, because they didn't accept the heavy industry trade agreement. Does that mean I can never again do that? Ah, man. Well, that kind of stinks. All right, so I guess we might have to look at other situations now. Let's go ahead and go down this Holstein situation, which may spark French intervention, which would not be a great thing. So maybe we stop exercises until that's dealt with, and we make sure that the French aren't going to intervene in that situation. All right, here we go. Let's hold our breath that the French do not intervene when this focus is complete. Denmark has ignored our ultimatum. We got an annex war goal against Hamburg Commune, which actually doesn't exist, I don't believe. So the Hamburg Commune ceased to exist. So at this point, we can not do that. We can not do that. So Hamburg Commune, because it doesn't exist, it doesn't allow me any of those options. So a lot of these options are not available to me right now. However, let's go back over here to Central Europe. We're going to demand Burgenland from Hungary, which also may spark French intervention. And I think once that is completed, I think we'll wrap it up right there, since we're not going to get the British alliance. I am, however, going to prepare for war against France, so let's get a few more divisions in the field, just to be safe. I am continuing exercises with my eastern divisions. We'll build up both of these armies up to the full complement of 24. We no longer have the effects of Entente sanctions. Well, that's helpful. Alright, we got a little while until this happens. Okay. France backs Austria. Yesterday, Germany sent an ultimatum to Austria demanding for its annexation into the Reich. In response, Austria, which I think doesn't exist anymore, has asked for military support from the Entente. So, where are we? We can go down this route, yes. All right. So what does this mean? Will France go to war with me? They're guaranteeing the independence of Hungary, so obviously I'm not going to be able to go to war with Hungary. And you can see Italy is pouring divisions into Hungary now, so not really an option I care to pursue at the moment. So we'll let this last demand play out, and we'll wrap it up right there for today. All right, we're about 3 days away from seeing what will happen here. I've started producing some medium tanks, and I've added those to my my Panzer divisions. Here we go. Zapadoslavia has ignored the ultimatum, as I expected, so now we're gaining another annex war goal, but we're going to stop right there because the next decision isn't available to me. I'll have to think about what I want to do next, but I'll stop right there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What should I do next? Perhaps should I, a lot of these options just aren't available. Should I start working on claims in the East, go after the Soviets, the Romanians? What do you suggest should be the next path as I continue to build up my military and my economic situation? Where should I expand? So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Use the comment section below. Please hit that thumbs up if you want to see more from this series. If you did not see the first episode, there's a link in the description below this video. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again real soon.